All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. We've got some more defensive tackles to look at here. Getting into the day three, guys. We got to them pretty quickly. Like I said, it's a very shallow defensive tackle class. But let's talk about some of the notable names from the early fourth round area, kind of. Starting with Kaleb Proctor of a very small school here, southeastern Louisiana. So this is going to be another one of those small school guys that gets some press as a credible draft pick. He will probably be drafted. 24. So a little bit on the older side. He's undersized, very undersized as far as defensive tackles go. Decent arm length though. It's not bad. 33 inches is okay. And he's very athletic. And this is kind of the draw here. Yes, he played at a small school, but his athleticism plays compared to other big school players. Like, he was fast, he was quick, he was explosive, he did change of direction stuff okay. Like, this guy can do some stuff. And the big boards, we got fourth rounders, fifth rounders. Aggregate has him in the very early fourth. The one season of numbers that were listed on his ESPN page, pretty good. 8 sacks, 43 tackles, 39 pressures. It works. It gets the job done. So he's got legitimate quickness. He's got the quickness you need to succeed when undersized. He can shoot gaps, first step quickness, gets off the ball pretty fast, all that kind of good stuff. So he, at the very least, has a chance despite being undersized. He's very explosive athletically, like I mentioned earlier. He's pretty good with handwork as well. He's actually pretty skilled. He's not just somebody that wins with his athleticism. He's even got a little bit of bend, as weird as that sounds for a bigger guy, but he's got some pass rush bend. If you get him on the outside and he's able to test the edges of the blocker, it can work. And he's rangy. He can cover a lot of ground. He gets off the ball rapidly. So there's plenty to like here. I think a lot of this plays at an NFL level, but he still played against weak competition, and you just don't know. Sometimes just because he's athletic doesn't mean he'll be able to do it. He gets blown off the ball when squared up on. That's what happens when you're 291. He's not as good of a block shedder as you would like. And at the end of the day, he's just going to be limited because he is so undersized. He's going to have to be utilized specifically. He's a 3 tech, maybe even a 5 tech. He's going to be used on twists and stunts. It's tough with Proctor because you know that he's never going to be a guy that really holds his ground against the run. So what you see is what you get. Um, I think he's going to be good. I like him because I think an athlete this good will find a way. So I went late third round if this is the kind of thing you want. So late third round for me on Proctor. Zxavian Harris of Ole Miss. Thought about putting this guy with the nose tackles, but decided to go ahead and put him here. He's certainly nose tackle size. Ole Miss 22. He is 6'8", one of the tallest defensive tackles ever, and 330 pounds. He's got very long arms, 34 and 5/8 inches. So physically, he is the specimen that you dream about. Big boards, we got a little bit of fourth, we got a little bit of fifth. Aggregate puts him in the fourth. You take a look at the stats over the last couple years, they're actually pretty robust. He had almost 60 tackles, 9 for a loss in 2025. 24 pressures is not terrible either for a guy this big. PFF grades aren't outstanding, and they did regress a little bit last year, but they're still pretty good. So we have a nice little player here, a nice little foundation to build on. And look, I don't know exactly what he's going to be in the NFL, but he looks like a nose tackle. He does. I admit that. He can probably also do 3-tech stuff. In fact, and this is something I'm going to get into later, for some reason, Ole Miss did not play him in the A-gap very much. He was kind of used like a 3-tech there, as near as I can tell. So when I look at Harris, I see the body of a nose, but I don't know if it's a nose. He might be a 3-tech. He knows how to shed. He uses his long arms well. He's got power, and he's strong enough to bull rush, so that weight is not wasted. He is actually a powerful, strong player. He moves well for a guy who's 330 pounds, which isn't saying a whole lot, but for a 330 pounder, he can move around. He's got a lot of 2025 production, like I mentioned, which is encouraging for a guy this big. Sometimes guys like this are just space eaters. Harris isn't really. Now, when you get him in space, he moves a little out of control and can end up on the ground, end up off balance. He's not consistent with his shed. He knows how to do it, but sometimes the shedding just doesn't happen as quickly as he needs it to. He's got to improve his handwork. He's got to improve his hand placement when he's going into engagements. He's tall to the point of losing leverage, and it's really hard for him to do anything about that because he's so freaking tall. And he did not play much nose tackle in college for some reason. So Ole Miss, they wanted to play him at 3 tech. Maybe that's a warning sign. I don't know. And given how big he is and how relatively unathletic he is, if he is actually a 3 tech in a nose tackle body, that's yeah, it's hard to really know what that turns into. So he's fascinating, a lot of potential. I think that he could get better if he just learns how to play the position a little bit better, but he could just never find the right position and never really be anything. That happens all the time. It's just because this draft is weak, he stands out to me. So I ended up going 3rd round on him. Like, at least I'm getting upside here. At least I'm getting something that could be really fun. At least I can see the exciting angle on this. Okay, final guy for this video is going to be Chris McClellan of Missouri, the Tigers. So he's 22. He's not oversized. He's not undersized. He's kind of a normal defensive tackle size these days. Maybe a little bit bigger than average, but 6'4", 313, pretty good. Nice arms, 34 inches, 11-inch hands. Hands are absolute baseball mitts. Testing was mixed. Like, given how big he is, the 40's fine. The 10-yard split, not so great. The vert, sure, whatever. But the broad jump is kind of freakish. So there's something going on in those hips. 25 BP reps, which he's got long arms, so it's not surprising he didn't do that well. Big boards, 4th round. Draft Network has him in the 2nd. CBS has him in the 3rd. The aggregate has him in the 4th, though, so little all over, but seems like he's going to be a day 3 guy, early day 3. The production is nice, man. Last year, almost 50 tackles, 8 for loss, 6 sacks, 21 pressures. The year before that, the production wasn't elite, but it was good. What I can say about McClellan, he finds ways to the quarterback. He has power, but he can also deploy finesse. He's got some moves. He can swim. He can do the arm over. He can do some things that will kind of get him to the quarterback without just running over a dude. He's hard to move off his spot when defending against the run. He's definitely somebody that can anchor down against at least a single blocker. His massive hands do really make life easier for him latching and shedding and doing all that kind of stuff. He's a pretty good athlete for his size, and he's also good at working through traffic. He is somebody who can sift his way through blockers and find the ball. Now, there's not really enough meat here. There's not enough junk in the trunk to hold up against doubles. So if you double team him, he's kind of taken out of the play. He does play standing straight up. He's going to have to learn how to bend the knees. He doesn't really have burst off the snap. And he's not really a good tackler. His tackling technique is kind of sloppy, so he ends up missing tackles and ending up on the ground. So I think he'll be a fairly effective player. I think he'll be good in most areas, but he will not necessarily be great in any one area. He can maybe make some improvements. He can learn how to sink his hips. He can maybe improve his tackling technique, but I just see kind of a generally pretty good player. Late 3rd rounder, fine by me in this class. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Late 3rd rounder. And that is it for this video. So tomorrow we're going to look at the later defensive tackles, and then we will be done. See you guys soon. Go Hawks.